All right, let's talk about who should be trading or buying at the deadline. And the way that I went about this is I said, okay, there's some people that should be buying big, some people that should be buying small or buying little, some people who should just kind of stand pat, others who should sell little, and others who should sell big. And that's kind of that's how I think about it. There's people that need to tear it down, or some people that need to retool. And that's how I kind of think about it. So we're going to go through and get into this now. So let's remove the title real quick. And so let's go into it. So Ducks, I don't know how much they have to sell. I know there's a big talks about Vertrano being moved, and Henrique as well. Actually, yeah, since they're moving, there's talks about them getting a first-round pick for Henrique, which is crazy to me. So to me, I'm saying let's sell them big, or they're selling big. I mean, they're in the middle. They're not doing well. If you go to the standings right here, and we go to them, yeah, the Ducks are just. Yeah, third in the. I mean, they're a tank team. They're for the Celebrini race right now, so that's not a question. So, I think Coyotes. Coyotes actually, to me, it's sell little, and the reason is they don't have any big things to trade. I know Matt Dumba was one that they talked about, but to me, they got a lot of young guys. They're keeping Keller. There's not a lot to trade there. Maybe they can do like Travis Dermott or something like that, but to me, like there's just not much to trade. So you can't really sell big if there's not much to sell. So I'm gonna go with sell little. So Carolina Hurricanes. To me, they gotta buy, right? They gotta buy a goalie. They gotta buy. I mean, to me, they're good. They're very good, right? They're second in the Metro. I mean, that's good. And they got a good goal differential too. I mean, they're looking decent right now. What else do they need? I mean, there's talks about them moving out Tony DeAngelo, so maybe they'll not sell on him, but they're gonna move him probably. I'm gonna go with they're gonna buy a little. I think they kind of just need to shore things up. They're looking really good right now. I mean, again, look at the standings. I mean, they're second in them. They're fourth in the conference, right? They're pretty solid in the spot. No one in the Metro is really going to take their spot. We know Philly's going to sell. So I think maybe they get like a Jake Allen or something like that. I mean, that would be pretty good. But I don't think they need to buy big. They just need to kind of shore up a couple things. Blackhawks, they don't have much to sell. They should sell big. So again, maybe this is kind of where they should sell big, but they're kind of keeping a lot of their guys. To me, this is the reason I'm gonna put sell big is because they're very third party energy. They're like, hey, like this is the team that's gonna be like, hey, we'll throw in a 4th-round pick. We'll take on some salary. So to me, that's sell big energy. That's my qualification right there. So if they can't move anything, they will. I think they just re-signed Mrazek. They have like other guys on like pretty great. I mean, they're like signing guys for like really expensive just so they can hit the floor. But to me, these guys are just hey, sell big, take on bad contracts, give us all your bad contracts. So, Colorado Avalanche, I think they got to buy big. So where are they in the standings? Let's go to them. I mean, they're second. Yeah, they're going to buy big, I think, because to me, Dallas is going to be tough. I mean, in the West it can be very tough, right? I mean, if you look at this, so right now Colorado would verse the Winnipeg Jets, Dallas Stars would verse the Los Angeles Kings. So to me, yeah, you have Colorado's. If you're versing Winnipeg in the start, you need to buy big. I know there was talks about them moving Bowen Byram, which would be interesting. So yeah, they're gonna buy big. You already have a lot of your guys that are you already have your core of McKinnon, Rantanen, and all that. Like buy big, go big game hunting, guys. So Columbus, they should sell. They're not trying to say they should sell big. They should sell off everything, right? They just got rid of their general manager. I actually think they should sell big. They have big sell energy, right? I mean, they're the bottom of the Eastern Conference. 42 points, which was crazy to me. They would be the fourth worst team, the fourth worst in the league, but they're worst in the Atlantic. So to me, they should be selling big. I don't know what they're going to sell. If you haven't checked out my video on that, actually, I do know what they're going to sell. They're going to sell a ton, but I made a whole video on that, on the Columbus Blue Jackets, on what they should sell, who they should buy out, and everything, and kind of create a new culture. So, to me, they're big sell energy, but they're in the same thing as Coyotes. They don't got much to sell. I mean, you're going to sell Mrazek. You're not going to sell Mrazek. You're going to move Mrazek, but that doesn't mean you're getting any big assets for him. So, Dallas Stars, big buy energy. Buy. just go crazy. Buy. To me, you know what? Actually, let's go with this. Let's see. I'm gonna go with Columbus. Kind of gotta. They have to stay pat. Going back. I'm moving Dallas back down. I just want to finish talking about Columbus. They kind of have to stay pat. So to me, you can't do anything. There's not much to do. And I'm gonna go with same thing with the Coyotes. You don't got much to sell. Like we'll go sell a little. But to me, there's not much to sell in Columbus. So your kind of only option is stand pat. Maybe you act as a third party team, but you don't have much cap space either too. So, which is crazy. Dallas Stars, go back, buy big. Ottinger's kind of having a lower year this year. You're not going to show up on goaltending. I think you're okay in goaltending. It'd be nice if you get a little bit of depth. But they're looking great. I mean, they're leading the Central Conference. I mean, it's the Central Division, so I'm not mad about that. So, Red Wings. So I think a lot of people think they should stand pat. As a Red Wings fan, I'm pro sell little. I think you sell on Perron, you sell on Sprong, you sell on Fisher if you have to, because they have a great depth. Like them and the Coyotes have great depth coming up. And so to me, you just kind of sell a little, kind of move out some pieces, and then bring some young guys up, right? And to me, so they kind of Detroit sitting in that stand pat. A lot of people think the stand pat, maybe buy a little, but to me, they're you don't sell big, you don't buy big. I think they should sell a little. If you want to know my Red Wings opinion, I did a whole video on that as well. I think they should sell. I don't think this is the year, but they're sitting in a wild card spot. They got a lot of guys breathing down their necks though. 60 points in 53 games. I mean, you get New Jersey's really close. You have Islanders really close. Penguins, I mean, they have no choice but to continue moving. Washington, to me, I think they're done, in my opinion. But Ovechkin's getting hot now, so we'll see. Panthers, to me, they should buy big. They don't have. I'm gonna say they should buy big. They're probably going to end up buying small because they moved out so many first-round picks. The Sherratt one, you have the Giroux one. So they don't have a lot to buy with. So to me, they're going to buy a little, probably just shore up a couple things. I mean, they're doing well as well in the Atlantic. I mean, look at this. I mean, very well. Finally knocking off the Bruins off that top spot. To me, it's very impressive. I mean, a 43 goal differential. I mean, come on, that's awesome. That's amazing. On an 8-2 streak right now. I mean, or 8-2 in the last 10. That's awesome. I love this. This is great for them. Their record looks great. I mean, you buy big. I mean, there's no question. You're top. Buy as much as you can. Oilers, buy big. You need to buy big because you have Connor McDavid. You have a generational talent. You buy, you sell off everything you can. This is where and it's kind of what I was talking about with Red Wings too. Oilers, Ken Holland is sniffing around looking at David Perron. Dude, imagine you can get like a second round pick for David Perron. Like, absolutely. Sell him. Bye, buddy. You're not going to resell him. He's older. You're not going to re-sign him in the offseason, so get what you can for him. Islanders, to me, they're they're kind of sniffing at that spot. They're just outside of a wild card spot, right behind the Devils. To me, they should buy. They made their big trade last year with Horvat. They got to buy something. They got to buy something at least. I'm gonna say buy a little, because you don't want to buy big if you're the Islanders because you might miss the playoffs. So they should buy a little, try and shore up, but they don't have much to do. So they're kind of saying that buy a little, stand pat, because there isn't much to do. You've locked up so many guys in these 8-year contracts. You kind of have who you want, and so what do you do, And so that's kind of where I'm thinking with the Islanders. LA's got to, and they had a precipitous drop. Going over to their stuff, I mean, they're in a wild card spot now. They're 4-4-2, so they're at 500. But to me, I mean, they're home. Look, you should be 9-9 at home. All those overtime losses, you guys should be doing better than that, in my opinion. And they had a hot start, mind you, at the start of the season. Now they're not looking as pretty. So I mean, they're doing well. They're in a wild card spot. And to me, I think. Yeah, because they're in the Pacific right here. Edmonton's going to just continue to skyrocket. And the Vancouver Canucks they're taking the President's Trophy, in my opinion. To me, I mean, you got to buy. You have to buy. I'm gonna say buy small. I don't think this is the LA Kings year. I think they're good. I think you just buy small. You kind of shore up a couple things, but you let your young guys develop. You hopefully PLD can kind of. I mean, I think this is not PLD's year, which is a bummer because you kind of bought big on him. You moved a lot of pieces. You did a big trade by moving all those guys out, Iafallo and as well as like Gabe Velarde. So to me, buy little. That just makes sense to me. Minnesota's in that mucky middle. I think they just need to sell on everything, and it's kind of a bummer. But this is what happens. You do all those buyouts, and they're trying to be competitive still because you have Kaprizov. To me, you kind of have to stand pat. You kind of have to see. I don't think they should buy. I don't think they should just. I mean, they already said Marc-Andre Fleury wants to stay in Minnesota, so you're not going to sell on him. So if you're not going to sell on him, who are you going to sell on? So I think they end up standing pat, which is kind of a bummer, you know. So Canadiens, there's talks about them wanting to move David Savard. I think that makes sense. I think they don't want. I think they said they didn't want to, but there is some interest in them moving David Savard. So I think you should. I think you kind of, again, I guess it'd be a sell little. You kind of just move out some pieces. No. Yeah, if they move Jake Allen, is that a sell big? To me, it's not a sell big. I think it feels big because he's a decent backup goalie on a contending team. I don't think he solves your issues, but to me, yeah, I think you. It's in between that sell little, sell big. I'll say sell little because we're gonna have some other teams that probably end up falling this sell big. National Predators. Similar, I think they're similar to the Minnesota Wild. They're in that weird spot, right? They're right outside of a playoff spot. Juicing out a first-round pick. I mean, to me, imagine if they sold Saros and they just went into a full rebuild, retool, and got a ton of good players. Like, to me, like, you could get huge quantity out for UC Saros. But to me, they kind of stand back, kind of see what they have, and maybe make some moves in the offseason. Similar to the Wild, probably should retool. All these, I mean, stand pats are kind of like, hey, you probably should retool. Probably should do something. Because this could be bad. Islanders probably in that buy little, like, stand pat, like, in that area. But I think they're a little closer into the playoffs than... they're kind of in that weird spot. I mean, it could be either way, right? So, anyways, New Jersey needs... I would say they probably need to buy a little. But to me, they feel... I just made a video about them picking up Markstrom, so I think they are going to buy big. I think they're going to move out a first-round pick for him. Buy big, though. Like I said, I think New Jersey... But the reason I said when they're buying Markstrom, I think that's going to be a big because there's a first-round pick moved out, and that's kind of my qualifications, like a first, maybe a second-round pick being moved out. I think that's kind of where you're buying a little bit bigger. But yeah, so I think we're good. I think that they should buy... because they have the young talent, they have that upswing. I don't know. Like, to me, I think to me they could totally take a fourth spot, right? Like, there's no question they could absolutely beat out the Red Wings. Philadelphia will probably end up selling anyway, so you can probably end up knocking them down. They might come in as a wild card spot or get knocked out if they end up selling on like Lawton and like Konechny. I mean, there's a lot of good options here. But to me, I think they should buy big because I think they can swing into a playoff spot and can be real trouble for anyone who's in that versing them. And we saw that against the Rangers, right? So, anyways, moving on to the Rangers. Speaking of Rangers, they're doing well. They are doing very well, actually. And it's crazy because goaltending is not really being their strong suit right now. I think Shesterkin's kind of not looking all worldly. Quick's looking really well though. So I think maybe at the start of the playoffs, you kind of maybe start with Quick. Or I don't even know, man. Maybe you do two games to Shesterkin and see how he plays out. But yeah, they're doing great. I mean, they can continue to buy. I don't know if they need to make up a huge swing. I think they buy. I think they just buy a little. I think that similar to Carolina, I don't know what they need to shore up. Maybe this is where you trade out the Kako. You get a little bit stronger on offense, but to me, like, they're looking really pretty, so I'm okay with that. Ottawa, you need to sell. So sorry, Ottawa fans, you need to sell. Get rid of anyone you can. You need to shake up, move up Brandstrom, move out, or not Brandstrom. Is it Brandstrom or is it Columbus? Anywho, you need to move out Tarasenko, move out Claude Giroux, get a new core. Maybe move out a big piece. Like maybe, I mean, Pinto's not even out the guy, but maybe move out like I don't know, you move out Norris. Like you need a shake up. Like this was supposed to be your year. Like you guys looked so good last year. To me, it's crazy. I had Detroit as the worst of these, of Buffalo, Ottawa, and Detroit. I had Detroit as the worst before the trade deadline. I had them as the worst. Then they went out and bought, and I'm like, I just don't believe in it. And I can't believe Ottawa and Buffalo is just tanking this way. But yeah, they sell big, get rid of anything, shake up the core, get excited, So I could see that. Flyers, I think they should sell big. Again, I think you sell on Konechny. I think you sell on Lawton if there's anything there. They're probably going to get a first-round pick for Lawton, which is crazy to me. So sell. I know you're in the third divisional spot, but it doesn't make sense to me. This isn't your year. You have great prospects coming up. Now you have Jamie Drysdale as well. You get moved out Cutter. Like you have like Michikov, who's looking phenomenal in Russia. There's a lot of exciting things happen, and just kind of like allow that young prospect group grow. Like get excited. You have Bonk as well. Like there's a lot of exciting things. So to me, sell big. Just I know you guys are doing great this year, and I'm so proud of what Terrell has done. But to me, it's just not your year. So the Penguins. Penguins at this point just lost Jake Gensel for the next 4 weeks, which would put him past the trade deadline. And in my opinion, you should sell on Jake Gensel right now. If you're not going to re-sign him, you sell on him. And I think that a team would really like that. And I think that you probably still could get a first round pick for him. Maybe at least a second. For Jake Gensel, because I think he'll heal after trade deadline, have some time with the team, and then you can kind of just move off of that. I think someone will give you a first round. Think about this: like Vancouver's looking to move people. Like they're absolutely looking. They're salivating at this. But Sid is having a phenomenal year. I wish they could buy. I really wish they could. But to me, you sell big. Unfortunately, either that or you stand pat, right? Like it's either you don't sell little. Either sell little, stand pat. I'm saying sell big, but if we went off what I think they're going to do, I think they're going to stand pat. I think they're going to try and get into that spot, try and move out on the Islanders, the New Jersey Devils, try and be out the Red Wings, and they're capable. You have Sidney Crosby, for God's sakes. But to me, there's just not enough around Crosby to give you a playoff team. Just based on vibes. So Sharks, you should sell big, but you're probably going to sell little because you don't have much to sell. Couture got hurt. Hurdle's hurt. Or Couture came back. Hurdle is hurt. And maybe Mario Ferraro, you sell on him. Like, there's not much to sell on them. But I think you sell as much as you can. Kind of that sell little, sell big. I mean, you might be able to get some good pieces out, but most everything is for sale we're gonna go sell big because you're probably gonna sell in quantity than you are quality. They're definitely gonna move out maybe Kakko Kakinen or Mackenzie Blackwood. I mean, they're probably gonna move in those. Not getting a ton back, but to me, you're gonna sell pretty big. Sell as many as you can. Seattle, they're in that. I think they're gonna sell little. I think they're probably gonna sell in an Eberle. There's just not much to sell. They're in that weird spot in the standings. Where they're in that like weird middle 56, right? You're a little far out. Like you are 4 points behind with a game in hand on St. Louis, who sold last year a ton. They sold a ton last year. To me, I can't even St. Louis is still in this, by the way, either. But to me, Kraken just makes sense. Sell on Eberle, kind of get some there, regroup, get Shane right up next year, and start to build it, bring those prospects in that you're working on right now. So that's in my opinion. So. St. Louis, I sell big. I just don't believe. I can't believe you think that you want to go to the playoffs after you sold so much, and then you picked up like Kevin Hayes as your guy. Like St. Louis, like sell, get rid of your guys, freshen up, right? Like build around Thomas, build around build around Thomas, Shen, and all them. Like to me, and Kyrou, like. But sell off on Buchnevich, like guys you're not going to keep, but just sell. Like, get rid of it. Retool. Like, I think they should retool. I guess maybe, I don't know. I'm looking at my standings. I'm telling Nashville to stand pat, but I'm telling St. Louis to sell. Maybe because I like St. Louis a little more. I don't know. Like, if I were them, I would sell, but I think they're going to stand pat. I think they're going to stand pat. So, we'll see. But anyways, moving on to Lightning. I think you buy a little, because to me they're just not. You just lost Sergachev for the year. Like, what do? You gotta buy a little just to strengthen it, but you're not gonna go big game hunting with one of your top D to gone. Like, so you kind of just buy a little. You're in the playoffs and you're in the standings, right? Like, you're third in your division. So Toronto probably could bump you down to a wild card spot, but to me, you definitely buy. You definitely buy. They'll probably get knocked down to the wild card spot in a couple of games, because it looks like Toronto's got 52 games and Tampa's got 55, and Toronto's only sitting a point behind. So as long as they get a point in the next 3 games, or as long as they get 2 points in the next 3 games, that would be really good for Toronto to beat them. Toronto, buy big. To me, they should buy big, and similar with Tampa, get some guy with term. They moved a ton out last year. They picked up like Ryan O'Reilly. They did the Jake McCabe thing, right? Like, so, like, to me, you buy big, but you get a guy with a little bit more term. And I don't know who that's going to be. But I don't think you just go out there and get a UFA. You definitely need to go for it. Austin Matthews is having one of those years. It's kind of like McDavid. You have him. Like, you have to be all in at this. So to me, I think he's got like 41 goals or something like that. He's on like a 70 goal pace. Like, it's crazy. Like, buy. So Canucks. I don't know if they need to buy big, but they're probably going to. And I love it. I love what their moves that they're making. They picked up Zadorov earlier in the season. They picked up Lindholm. Like, hopefully they buy again. Like, I would love that. I think I would love that for Vancouver fans as well. I mean, absolute buy. 80 points in the standings already. Phenomenal. Love it. So, Vegas is all. If I did this every day for the next, it feels like 6 years. Like, Vegas will always be in buy big, because it feels like they're in on everybody. So I think Vegas, they're looking sharp. Let's see where they're at. They're second in the standings. I mean, you're at 68 points. You're doing phenomenal. And to me, like, they're just going to be great. I mean, like, 31 wins. I mean, they're kind of doing, to me, they're doing the Tampa right now, where Tampa's like, we're going to get into the playoffs on like the 3rd spot, maybe a wild card spot. And when we turn on the gas, this thing will explode. That's how Vegas is treated to me. So, Capitals, the only focus they have is getting Alex Ovechkin to the goals. To me, you sell big. Nick Dowd is getting a lot of attention right now as a center, looking to potentially get a first-round pick for him. I think he has some term as well, so I think that maybe that's one of those guys that Toronto goes and gets. But to me, you sell. Like, your goal is to be good enough to get Ovechkin the goals record, that beating Wayne, and then you just, if Ovechkin wants to play, still great, but you pretty much just sell on everything. Let him go play for another team, get a haul for him. So that's my opinion. But Winnipeg, they already started buying a good chunk. I think they continue to buy. Going to them in the standings, they're in a 3rd divisional spot. Do they have a chance of losing it? No. I mean, look at 69 points. They're not losing this divisional spot. These guys are 60 points. They're 9 points back. They're gonna buy. I put buy a little. Let's see. To beat Colorado, you kind of gotta buy big. I think they buy big. I mean, they already picked up Sean Monahan, so I guess they've already bought big. So let's go to buy big. They have already considering, because they've already made the moves to buy big. So I think that they're going to continue buying big. I mean, to me, like, they already have. Like, they did buy big, so there's why they're in the category buying big. And maybe they go out and pick something else up. Maybe secure something else. But Calgary, you've already sold a ton. You've already sold on Lindholm. You're going to sell more. Sell, and sell. Going to Buffalo Sabres, sell little. You don't got, again, similar to some of these guys, they don't have much to sell, but sell on who you can. Try again next year. Like, you guys have your young core, just continue to develop your young core. That's easy to me. To me, that just makes sense. There's no question. Buffalo, sell. Boston, go buy big. I mean, I said the same thing. I thought Boston was going to be like, hey, they're just not going to, it's going to be, it's going to be whatever. They're not going to do well. They're going to start tank. To me, like, I had them in like 4th in the, in the wild card spot for Atlantic. I had the same, like, Toronto, Tampa, Florida, Boston as the being in the race. So in the Atlantic, so Boston, I think they're gonna buy again. Why not, right? They already lost Poitras, so they're probably gonna go pick up a forward. But yeah, that's how I feel, man. So these are my standings. These make sense to me. Let me know what your thoughts are on how you feel about the standings on my tier list, and I'll put the link in here if you want to do your own, and let me know. Appreciate it. Love you. Bye.